세상을 움직인 한마디. 세상의 모든 말들 속에서 스피치 포인트를 찾아갑니다.
It's time to build your speaking muscles.
Speech
101.
Every Thursday on Speech 101, we break down key points from famous speakers' speeches to help you learn and improve your speech.
And that last song was a little bit of a hint to who we're going to be talking about today, right?
That's right. I mean, just a year ago, I don't think anyone really knew them,
Yep,
right?
yep.
Hardly anyone knew them, but now they
Now they
have
do.
the world's attention. People everywhere singing along to their music. So here they are. So Huntrix is a fictional three-member female idol group featured in the 2025 Netflix animation film K-pop Demon Hunter.
You may have heard of it.
You may have heard of it unless you have been living under a rock.
Exactly.
Taedeon is other members are Rumi, Mira, and Zoe.
In the movie, yeah?
That's right. 그래서 오늘 스피치 101 주인공들은 무려 세 분을 가져왔습니다. Today's figures are the singing voices behind the three animated characters.
Right.
이재, Ray Ami, and Audrey Nuna.
Right. Three Korean American girls. They're not the voices of the characters just when they're singing, right?
That's right. They are the singing voices behind the
Yeah,
characters.
that's right.
And of course, they have been coming up on many TV shows, many talk shows, many podcasts. EJ recently, she appeared on a program here in Korea and talked about her experience as a trainee for SM Entertainment.
Right. She was a trainee for 10 years, almost
10, 11
over
years,
10
yeah.
years. And then they dropped her, right? Because at the very end, can you imagine training that hard? Because they trained so intensely at those places.
Right.
And then getting dropped at the end was absolutely devastating for her. So this is kind of like a rising up again after a real big fall. So
That's
it shows you
right.
can always get up again.
That's right. You can always get back on your 2 feet and what a great loss for the SM Entertainment is what people are saying
Yeah, right.
online. So they are the talk of the town and recently, I'm sure many of you have seen some clips of them, but they have performed Golden on The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon.
Right? They were also on Saturday Night Live as
That's
well.
right, SNL. 최근 미국의 MBC 인기 토크쇼 지미 펠런 쇼에 출연해서 골든을 라이브로 불렀었거든요. 그리고 인터뷰도 했는데
네.
we'll be taking a closer look at their interview from that appearance today on Speech 101. Let's take a listen to the audio clip.
I mean, I just remember I was one of very few Korean kids in my school district. So I would pack my kimbap in my Barbie lunchbox, my container, and I would just be sneaking little pieces one by one because I didn't want the stanky kimbap to be a reason why kids would, alienate
And the
me.
kimchi.
Yeah, and just all the stinky foods. I would just be like,
So you would hide your own
yeah, I would
lunch?
hide it, and I would just, like one piece at a time, close. One piece at a time, close. I think that's a feeling so many Korean Americans can relate to growing up here.
So sad. I think
It is
that's-
really sad.
So for this first clip, we are going to take a look at 오드리 누나. 여기서 누나는 그 아우 형제 누나 그 누나입니다.
네.
미라 역을 맡으셨던 분인데 she's talking about how it was seeing the animated film for the first time and more specifically seeing kimbap up on the screen.
Right, and kimbap is actually getting even more popular these days internationally because it's in that movie. It's actually a really interesting point. When I was a kid, the kids from other cultures, I grew up in kind of a small town where there weren't a lot of kids from other countries. I grew up in Canada. And they had a difficult time with their food, bringing it
Yeah.
to school, right? But often people would make fun of them, unfortunately. So I was a little worried because my wife makes like kimchi jjigae for my kids and sends it to school with them when we were in Canada.
김치찌개를요.
I was a little worried about it, to be honest, because I'm from an older era. But the kids all were jealous because it smelled so delicious, apparently. So times have changed.
Times have definitely
Which is great news,
changed.
yeah.
이 김밥에 대해서 이야기를 하는데, I mean, talking of small towns with not many immigrants and foods, I was one of the immigrants
Yeah.
that did have a hard time
Right.
with foods.
With kimbap?
with kimbap and other things. So nowadays, when I look at how far things have come, I get jealous
Right.
for the kids nowadays who are
Kids are-
having a great time abroad.
I think kids are a lot nicer than they used to be, actually.
That's
These
right.
days. I have hope for the next generation.
You do. All right, so let's have a look at the clip from the audio clip. 의미를 저희가 한 줄 한 줄 해석해 보겠습니다.
All right, here we go. And it's weird because the thing that got me was seeing gimbap, which is a Korean food, Korean rice roll, animated on screen.
이상하게도 저를 울컥하게 만든 건 바로 김밥이었어요. 한국 음식, 김밥이 애니메이션 속에 등장했거든요.
Because, I mean, I just remember
왜냐면 그게 딱 떠올랐어요.
I grew up, I was one of very few Korean kids in my school district, so I would pack my gimbap in my Barbie lunchbox, you know, my container.
제가 자랄 때 근처에는 한국인 아이가 거의 없었거든요. 그래서 저는 바비 인형 도시락통에 김밥을 싸갔어요. 그 통 말이에요.
And I would just be sneaking little pieces one by one.
그리고는 몰래 한 조각씩 집어 먹곤 했죠.
Because I didn't want the stanky gimbap to be a reason why kids would, you know, alienate me and the kimchi and just all the stinky foods.
김밥 냄새 때문에 애들이 저를 이상하게 보거나 따돌릴까 봐요. 그리고 김치도요. 그 냄새 난다고 하던 모든 음식들이요.
And I think that's a feeling so many Korean Americans can relate to growing up here.
그런 감정은 아마 미국에서 자란 많은 한인들이 공감할 거예요. 그래서 뚜껑을 약간 반 닫아놓고 하나 빼서 먹고 뚜껑 닫고
Right.
또 뚜껑을 조금만 열어서 한 조각 빼서 먹고 이런 식으로 먹었던 기억이 있기 때문에 애니메이션의 김밥을 보면서 울컥했다고 하는 내용입니다.
And a lot of kids, of course, from a lot of cultures, not only Korean culture, I think, can really feel that experience.
Yeah, we definitely can.
Yeah.
자, 그럼 딜리버리 포인트 하나하나씩 짚어보겠습니다.
Let's go.
So point number one. 한국어는 한국식으로 발음해도 돼요.
I would pack my kimbap in my Barbie lunchbox, my container, and I would just be sneaking little pieces one by one because I didn't want the stanky kimbap to be a reason why kids would, alienate
And the
me.
kimchi.
Yeah, and just all the stinky foods. I would just be like,
So you would hide your own
yeah, I would
lunch.
hide it, and I would just, like one piece at a time, close.
네,
one piece
여기서
at a time,
보시면
close.
김밥을 두 번 언급했는데 둘 다 김밥 이렇게
Kimbap, right?
이렇게 안 하고 영어는 영어대로 완전 플루엔트하게 얘기를 하다가 중간에 갑자기 한국식으로 김밥이라고 얘기를 했죠. 이거는 제가 그 대표님들 트레이닝 하면서도 정말 많이 받는 질문이에요. 서양식 발음에 맞춰서 뭐 킴밥, 세일, 행캉, 샘숭, 하윤다 이렇게 얘기를 해야 되는지, 그러니까 영어로 얘기할 때는 영어식으로 한국 이름들을 발음해야 되는지 아니면 한국식으로 발음해도 되는지. 이게 제가 처음 뭐 해외 나갔을 때, 30년 전에 해외 나갔을
Wow.
때랑 지금이랑은 아예 다른 상황입니다.
Right.
제가 처음 갔을 때는 일단 한국식으로 발음하면 아무도 못 알아듣기 때문에 의사소통을 위해서라도 영어식으로 발음을 해야 했는데 이거는
That's back when you were Natasha.
Yeah, that's when I was Natasha. 지금은 이제 한국 국력이 많이 올라갔잖아요. 그리고 한류도 있고 사람들이 한국의 브랜드들, 한국의 문화 단어들을 잘 알기 때문에 이제는 한국식으로 발음을 해도 되는 시대입니다.
There's been a lot of changes in that field. But for example, like the way that Hangul is translated into English, it's changed quite a bit over time. And so it's gotten more kind of exact to how it sounds. Like you don't get the K.
The Romanization, you mean?
Right, because kimbap is used to be spelled with a K,
Right.
but it's actually a G pronunciation, right? It should be gimbap. I've been saying this for many, many years, You just say the name of what it is in Korean, If you think about international food, for example, like sushi, everybody knows what sushi is. Spaghetti, everybody knows what spaghetti is. It used to be that you would explain Korean foods by what's in them rather than the name of it. But if it's 닭갈비면은 그냥 닭갈비라고 해야 되죠.
That's right.
네.
It's all to do with the power of that country, the soft power of that country. 그래서 요즘에는 심지어 외교부 행사에서는 그 이름을 저 같은 경우는 뭐 미소랑 서 이렇게 얘기를 하잖아요. 이제 영어 도중에 얘기를 하면. 그런데 두 가지 변화가 크게 있는데 요즘에는 첫 번째는 서 미소랑이면 그냥 성을 앞에서 얘기를 해라. So for example, my my name is 서미소랑 and I'm honored to be your MC for this event. 이런 식으로 하고 한국어는 한국식으로 내 이름은 한국어니까 한국식으로 발음하는 거를 아예 권장하기도 합니다. So that's how much things have changed. Bottom line, Korean, pronounce it in the Korean way.
Names are a tricky one, right? When you translate a name into another language, like my name is Rich, but it's Lichi in Korean, right? Or it's different pronunciation. If I would go to France, it would be Richard.
Oh,
for
I like that.
example.
Richard.
Right, not
Very
bad,
fancy.
right? But also, it's tricky because sometimes when you go into a different language, your name has a meaning where
Right.
it doesn't have a meaning in the other language. So that can be a tricky one.
So you are a fruit in Korea. 리치 과일.
I'm
Alright.
a fruit in many countries.
That's right. So let's move on to point number 2. 인터뷰에서는 문장을 시작하다 말아도 된다.
I mean, I just remember I was one of very few Korean kids in my school district. So I would pack my kimbap in my Barbie lunchbox, my container, and I would just be sneaking little pieces one by one because I didn't want the stanky kimbap to be a reason why kids would, alienate me. Yeah.
네, 방금 나온 오디오랑은 조금 다른 부분인데 여기에 앞에서 이런 말을 했거든요. Because I just remember, I grew up, I was one of the very few Korean kids in my school district. 그러니까 이 말을 시작할 때 하나의 길고 매끄러운 문장으로 얘기를 하기보다는 따져보면은 이제 5번 시작을 했거든요.
Right.
But what I want to say is that's okay. Because that's how people talk naturally.
Of course.
그러니까 이게 스크립트가 준비된 연설, 포디움에서 하는 뭐 거대한 연설이라면 안 되겠지만 스몰 토크, 커피 챗, 인터뷰 이런
네.
데서는 이렇게 해도 아주 자연스럽고 괜찮습니다.
What about radio 방송?
라디오 방송 만약에 if you're doing it professionally, the standards are a little bit higher.
Because we do this all the time.
That's right. It is very natural. 그러니까 내가 좀 잘못 시작했다고 해서 쭈글탱 되지 마시고 그냥 원래 한국어로도 이렇게 시작했다가 말았다 하니까
Right.
자신감 가지고 계속 이어가 주시면 됩니다.
That's a really good point because sometimes when people stumble, their first instinct is to bring attention to that mistake. But actually, if you just kind of just let it go and keep moving forward in your sentence, that's a much better way and people will just let it drop,
맞아요. 올림픽 경기 하는 것처럼 실수한 건 그냥 빨리 털어내야 돼요. to
Right,
keep moving
right.
forward.
Keep going.
That's right. Okay, do we have time for one more? I'm not sure. But first, let's have a look at the clip once again.
And it's weird because the thing that got me was seeing kimbap, which is a Korean food. It's like a Korean rice roll, animated on screen because, I just remember I was one of very few Korean kids in my school district. So I would pack my kimbap in my Barbie lunchbox, my container, and I would just be sneaking little pieces one by one because I didn't want the stanky kimbap to be a reason why kids would alienate me.
kimchi.
Yeah, and just all the stinky foods. I would just be like,
So you would hide your own
I would
lunch?
hide it, and I would just, like one piece at a time, close. One piece at a time, close. I think that's a feeling so many Korean Americans can relate to growing up here.
So sad. I think
It is
that's-
really sad.
All right, so some messages that came in regarding this interview. 다림다림님 인터뷰 영상 처음부터 끝까지 다 재밌게 봤어요. 음식 나올 때 다들 자동으로 감사합니다 인사하는 거 너무 흐뭇했습니다. 오늘의 레슨 시작 때 버벅댔다고 쭈글탱 되지 말자. Exactly. 쭈글탱 되지 마시고요. 한국 단어는 한국식으로 발음해도 됩니다.
Good lessons. You want to do a quiz?
Let's do it.
All right. This is a very difficult quiz, so listen very closely. Who are the members of Huntrix? Is it number 1, Rumi, Mira, and Zoe? Or is it number 2, Lisa, Jenny, and Rose?
Once again, who are the members of Huntrix? Number 1, Rumi, Mira, Zoe. Or number 2, Lisa, Jenny, and Rose.
What could it be?
문자 샵 1045 반디 유튜브 댓글로 보내주시면요. 저희가 한 분께 아로마 힐링 세트 보내드리겠습니다.
네, we'll be back in a sec. This is EJ, Audrey Nuna, and Ray Ami as Huntrix, How It's Done.
Speech 101, Rich 선생님과 함께하고 있습니다. We gave you a pop quiz. What was it?
Let's hear it one more time. Who are the members of Huntrix? Number 1, Rumi, Mira, and Zoe, or number 2, Lisa, Jenny, and Rose? Of course, the answer is number 1, Rumi, Mira, and Zoe, who we're talking about the real singing voices of today. Lisa, Jenny, and Rose are, I think they're singers in some other band nobody's probably heard of, right?
That's right. None other than the globally popular Blackpink.
Right. One of the reasons probably that K Daehan is so popular.
That we've had a warm up
Yeah, exactly.
with Blackpink and BTS.
People were already watching.
All right, so we are going to give the present 아로마 힐링 세트는 9021님께 드리겠습니다. 1번이요. 캐대헌 초등 아들이랑 뻥 안 치고 50번 넘게 봤어요.
no.
노래는 약 1000번 들었고요.
Oh my gosh, you must know every word to that movie.
진짜 힐링이 필요하실 것 같은데요. 저희가
그렇죠.
아로마 힐링 세트 보내드리겠습니다.
Hope you can get over that one.
All right, so let's have a look at one more clip from Huntrix, the singing voices of Huntrix.
So you have that on your phone? What if it was called na 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 na? That would
You
have
will hear, I have it. I have the voice memo, and you could hear me just going. I don't know what I'm saying. It's just gibberish. And then I was just excited. I went, went to.
So that was how Golden started, right?
That's right, because EJ was a singer-songwriter for that song, Golden. EJ님 말씀하는 거를 들어보면은 발음을 노래할 때만큼 이렇게 clear하게 enunciate 하는 스타일은 아니에요. And here she used the word gibberish,
That's a
which
good one.
means
It means nonsense.
nonsense. 그냥
Right.
아무 말, 헛소리. 이거를 영어로 gibberish라고 하는데요. 스펠링이
Na-na-na-na-na-na.
Gibberish. 웅얼웅얼 하는 거고 이 노래 처음을 들었을 때 그 멜로디를 하는 과정에서 바로 영감이 팍 떠올라서
Right.
그냥 핸드폰에 바로 리코더를 누르고 그냥 일단 아무거나 이제 했다. I don't know what I was saying. It's just gibberish.
Right, that's how a lot of ideas start, right? They're just kind of a little thought that you get in your head, you grab it on your phone, and then you develop it into something that hopefully goes to number 1.
on the
right?
Billboard chart and all the
Right.
other charts across the world.
It was number 1 on the Hot 100 for 8 weeks.
Wow.
It's like 2 months. That's just a crazy accomplishment. Of course, that was the first time that a K-pop female singer had made it to number 1.
Amazing job on their side. All right, let's have a listen to the clip once again.
So you have that on your phone? What if it was called na 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 na? That would
You will
have.
hear, I have it. I have the voice memo, and you could hear me just going. I don't know what I'm saying. It's just gibberish. And then I was just excited. I went, went to.
Gibberish.
That recording is probably worth a lot of money right now that that's so huge.
Oh, yeah, if she wants to sell it as an NFT
there
protected
you go.
recording, then yeah, I'm sure there are many people wanting to buy that. All right, so we did Duna, Audrey Nuna, we did EJ. Now it's time to listen to Ray Army.
That's hilarious.
Me. I was walking in. It was right after rehearsal, actually, and I just hear this little 5-year-old boy singing "Golden" at the top of his lungs, smiling ear to ear, holding his mom's hand, and he's like, "Born to be," and
Wow. Hey.
I whipped my head, and I was like, "There is no way this
Yes.
child chose this of all songs to sing. He chose Golden." And I think it's one thing to hear.
So this is the voice of Ray Army. Of the three of them, of the three singing voices of Huntrix, she has the most bubbly, lovely personality, and you can hear it in her voice.
And I think that little kid is not the only one singing Golden. Golden is, of course, super viral on all social media. People lip syncing it, covering it, doing all kinds of stuff, and going viral themselves.
That's right. So he was singing it at the top of his lungs. If you're doing anything at the top of your lungs, 그냥 정말 큰 목소리로 한다라는 것이거든요. So if you sing at the top of your lungs, 목청껏 노래하다, 목이 터져라 노래하다,
Right.
큰 소리로 노래하다 이런 뜻이 됩니다.
Like in the shower.
That's right. So let's have a listen to the clip once again.
That's hilarious.
Me. I was walking in. It was right after rehearsal, actually, and I just hear this little 5-year-old boy singing "Golden" at the top of his lungs, smiling ear to ear, holding his mom's hand, and he's like, Barnaby! And
Wow. Hey.
I whipped my head, and I was like, there is no way this
Yes.
child chose this. Of all songs to sing, he chose Golden. And I think it's one thing to hear our song on the radio.
All right, so those were your 3 clips from Huntrix, and that is a wrap for today's Speech 101.
Speech 101 스피치 코칭 해드립니다.
Okay, so can we listen to what song we have?
You want to have a song now?
Yes.
Okay, let's do that. No coaching this time. We'll give it to you next time. This is Huntrix again. It's EJ, Audrey Nuna, and Ray Ami. What it sounds like.